Hello, friends, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? Brief history. Back in 2013, I was diagnosed with cancer of the stomach, and that started a journey which began at the Nairobi Hospital Theatre one early morning, after which I was admitted into a women's ward for the next 9 days, and over the next 5 years, onto various hospitals in Gurgaon, a few kilometers from New Delhi, India. That included Medanta, Fortis, Practitioner, Artemis, and a couple of others. This was after an earlier run-in with 2 mild heart attacks that had me spend a few days each time at the HDU at Nairobi Hospital. And then did a number of interviews on local TV stations and one or two newspapers, mainly about my battle with cancer. And then I joined a number of anti-cancer activism groups, and I narrated my story to other cancer warriors as a way of motivating them. By that time, I'd been declared cancer-free. I formed the idea of putting the story in a pamphlet and then hand it out. And what started as my journey with cancer booklet became a book on the story of my life. The book, Through the Wilderness of Life, traces my life as I grew up in the quaint community of Kwakakulu near Emali, a robust township along the Nairobi-Mombasa Road, originally named Kasese, or small railway station. It started as a railway station when the Nairobi-Mombasa rail was built, or is it the Uganda Railway when it was built. It also traces my genealogy and the community within the Akamba community that I belong to. I have narrated my education path from Kwandongo, the nursery school, to Ndundune, Red Squirrel Primary School, and on to Alliance High School, all the way through the University of Nairobi, when it was the only university in Kenya. Of course, there was a private Christian Baraton University, Nandi Hills, which was not in the same league. The shock of joining the Kenyan community in the prestigious Alliance High School from my village community of Ndundune took some getting used to, including an unstart attempt to run away from the school in the early days, to the reality of finally finding serious challenges in academic work, to the many shenanigans fueled by youthful energy that I got into with some of my contemporaries, many of whom are great friends to date. The rather rapid growing up at the University of Nairobi, where there were no class masters or prefects to look over my shoulder as I did what was required of me, was a shocker too. A near failure in the first year was a major wake-up call. Onto the world of employment and the many trials and tribulations as well as triumphs of my days both in the public and private sector, and onto the entrepreneurship. After employment, I joined a hard-drinking community that spread all the way from Kilifi, my duty station at the time, to Nairobi West via Emali. When I thought of starting a family, I dispatched my mother and two uncles to the home of the girl I had set my heart on, a few kilometers from my rural home. But they were sent packing by the mother, who declared she could not let her daughter get married to a mlevi like me. My battles with diabetes and hypertension and supreme battle with cancer, as well as the agony of losing a greatly loved son to the Grim Reaper, are all interwoven in what has been claimed by those who have read the book as a story well told. My brush with cancer turned me into an avid researcher, and here I used the word researcher rather loosely into all matters health that resulted in a serious lifestyle change whose details are captured in this book. My story is interwoven with the stories of the boys I played with as children, both in Emali and Ndundune Primary School at Fuakakulu, all over, to those adults with whom our paths crossed, and in some areas their stories are my story, and my story is their story. Some have read the book and either corrected me or reminded me of other incidences I had not captured in the first edition. The revised edition captures these new tidbits of additional information. I've also added a few more photos, and last but not least, the photos are all in color. The previous edition was in black and white. I'm laying my reputation on the line and guaranteeing you a read you'll not forget in a hurry.